In 2017, a rail company in Japan issued an official apology for their train departing 20 seconds ahead of schedule. The passengers hardly noticed that the Tsukuba Express had left the station in eastern Tokyo at 9:44 and 20 seconds instead of 9:44 and 40 seconds. But being punctual to the second is so crucial in the country that the company just had to comment on the incident. They explained the mistake many internet users found too funny to be true by the fact that the crew had not sufficiently checked the departure time and performed the departure operation. Japanese railroads have a history of over 140 years. This has given them time to get enough know-how to tune the systems to perfection. The first ever railroad trip in the country was from Tokyo to Yokohama and transported the highest elites, including the emperor himself. The locomotive, train cars, and even the rails had to be brought from the UK. The trip lasted 53 minutes, almost twice as long as it does now. There were basically no amenities, not even bathrooms. Still, it was a success, and the first private Japanese railroad companies started popping up. In the early 20th century, after some massive train delays, the authorities took over the railroad. Their Railway Research Office improved the efficiency of engine boilers and came up with rust-resistant materials and a special type of paint to discourage bees from building hives that were a problem for train brakes. Still, the trains were pretty slow. The journey of 300 miles from Tokyo to Osaka lasted over 7 hours. The tracks would often go winding, following the course of rivers, and not the shortest route from point A to point B. Service disruptions were a common thing. Meager pay rises for workers led to staged strikes, slowdowns, and walkouts. The trains were hardly reliable. That's probably why cars and airplanes were becoming more and more popular. It all changed thanks to the Summer Olympics of 1964. Japan had to show the world what a connected and progressive nation they were, and the existing railroad system didn't send that message. So, the authorities invested a good amount of funds into their high-speed railroad system, the Shinkansen. For starters, they had to build new tracks exclusively for the new maglev, that is, magnetic levitation train. This means the high-speed trains wouldn't be slowed down by regular ones. The Shinkansen tracks were continuous welded rails, unlike regular tracks with segments bolted together. Seamless tracks meant less friction, which lets trains achieve higher speeds, and the tracks need less maintenance. Those super-fast trains run thanks to superconducting magnets. When you let some electric current flow through it, you've got an extra strong magnetic field. But there's a catch. The more juice it gets, the hotter it becomes. And efficiency takes a nosedive. Just like your phone charger getting all toasty, you can blame it on electrical resistance. So, the magnet needs cooling to a chilling negative 450 degrees Fahrenheit. This creates a strong and constant magnetic field. They use these superconducting magnets with cooling units along the entire length of the train. But that's only half of the magnetic magic. The other half is hidden within the guideways. The guideway magnets are shaped like O's and alternate between north and south poles. They align with the magnets on the train. When their polarities match, the magnets repel each other. This generates a forward force that sets the train in motion. By altering the polarity of the magnets inside the train, we can control the speed. The more frequently the polarity changes, the faster the train goes. Today, Japan's largest railway company transports an average of 14 million passengers per day. The average delay for a high-speed Shinkansen train is around 20 seconds, and they're still working on reducing this number to 0. The reason for this isn't just the technical perfection of the trains and tracks, but also the Japanese mentality. Collective rules and the good of the whole society are incredibly important to the local people. They respect order and discipline to minimize any uncertainty about their future. Since Japan is located in a zone where earthquakes are frequent, these two values are literally lifesavers. For Japanese railway workers, it's a priority to work well. conductors, train drivers, and station staff work as one team and still rely on human interaction in many ways. They have a whole system of physical gestures and voice calls they use while on duty. It's called pointing and calling, and it helps reduce mistakes during work by up to 85%. So they don't just perform their duties perfectly, but also point at it and announce what they're doing to avoid any mistakes. A train driver doing a speed check will point at the display and say, "Speed check 80." A station attendant will point down the track and sweep their arm along the platform to make sure there are no fallen passengers or bags that might get caught hanging from the train's closed door before departure. Staff training is quite rigid and brings the best results. All high-speed train drivers know how to get the train to the station within 5 seconds of scheduled arrival and stop within 3 feet of the assigned stop location. When it arrives in Tokyo, the train has only 12 minutes before moving in the opposite direction. 2 minutes are for the passengers to disembark, and 3 minutes are for the new passengers to settle in. So, the cleaning crew only has 7 minutes to do their job. One person takes care of a car with around 100 seats, and they manage to leave it pristinely clean. Teamwork at its best. If speed isn't your thing, you might enjoy the Glacier Express more than those ultra-fast Japanese trains. It's unofficially the slowest express train in the world and covers a distance of 180 miles in 8 hours. The journey goes through the breathtaking Swiss Alps and across almost 300 bridges. You will see mountain forests, alpine meadows, mountain brooks and streams, the arches of a famous viaduct, lakes, glaciers, and peaks. The Cambodian railroads used to have a fun feature. Passengers had to disassemble and put the train back together. Bamboo trains named Noris transported around a dozen passengers, livestock, and other goods between small villages. A Nori consisted of a single queen-sized bed platform and a lawnmower or boat engine that let it speed up to 25 miles per hour. When 2 Noris met on the only line, the lighter one would stop and the drivers and passengers disassembled it and let the bigger one pass. Then they put it back together, all in less than a minute. Now, you can only find a Nori as a tourist attraction as Cambodia has moved towards more effective trains. If you have around $5,000 to spend on a 4-day cruise around the sights of India, then the Maharaja's Express luxury train is something for you. This moving palace travels across northwest and central India and goes through most of the major tourist spots of the country. It consists of 23 cars, including accommodation, dining, bar, lounge, generator, and store cars. The presidential suite occupies the entire train car, but it's slightly more expensive, almost 3 times than the cheapest option. The most dangerous railroad in Japan, and probably the whole world, runs along the foothills of Mount Aso, the biggest active volcano in the country. You never know when it's going to wake up next, so once you buy a train ticket here, it could come with a bonus of front row seats for a spectacular natural show. You can see lava rivers and a steaming volcano top from the comfort of your seat. A part of the route passes across a high iron bridge, which is narrow and doesn't have a fence. It feels like one wrong move and the train will end up in the abyss. Would you take that risk? Let me know in the comments below.
That's it for today. So hey, if you pacified your curiosity, then give the video a like and share it with your friends. Or if you want more, just click on these videos and stay on the bright side.